Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the final beer from the Vocation's Naughty and Nice selection box. I'll be honest, I do feel like I've been on repeat a little bit in the last week just saying the words Naughty and Nice selection box, but this is the last day, or is it? Anyway, we're on to the last beer at least. This Vocation's Naughty and Nice, the beer that I'm calling definitely not a bounty Imperial Stout, knocking in at a whopping 10%. But what is the official name? Well, as always, to consult the little Vocation card, this is called the Coconut Milk Chocolate Imperial Stout. One of the easier mouthfuls, has to be said, out of this list, and the description is juicy exotic coconut centre enrobed, that's that nice word again, in a thick and creamy milk stout, the toast of paradise. Another very cheeky little sentiment there. So then, what am I expecting here? Well, coconut stouts are good. Coconut dark beer in general is good. I do, however, have two little concerns. One of them, for anyone who's watched any of the previous videos, well, you're probably going to know what I'm going to say. All of the previous beers, really, possibly except the first one, I always had, well, just something a little missing for their big, impressive accolades, mainly their ABV, if we're honest. But yeah, all the others maybe just fell a little bit flat in the roasty toasty section, and I'm expecting no different here. That said, this could well be the world's most easy to drink 10% beer if that is the case, but we'll get onto that later and see if that's true. But the other concern I've got about this surrounds an entirely different beer. This beer, to be precise. Some of you may have seen the review I did on this beer. It's just simply called Monkey by Blue Monkey, which doesn't give a lot away, but as you can tell by the design there, it's a little bit bounty inspired, and this is a 4% chocolate coconut mild, which, in comparison, doesn't really strike as a, well, they're similar, they're dark beers, they've got coconut in, but this is a whopping 10% Imperial Stout. Surely it's going to be loads better. Well, the problem that this Vocation beer has got is that this Blue Monkey beer is a contender for Beer of the Year from me, and as a result, well, it's going to have to do a very, very good job to get anywhere near this. Of course, they're going to be very different, but yeah, this will be interesting. And a little fact that some of you may not know, but actually both of these breweries, well, they're connected. They have similar founding members. It's yeah, this is a true head-to-head in more way than one, but we'll find out, I guess. Before we get into it then, here is a quick look at that can. I mean, let's be fair, the artwork, as with all of these, has been absolutely fantastic. Info in the back in the same format as all of them. But yeah, I don't know, something about this one, I think it's just the slightly more colourful can design. I'm really digging. In the glass then, it has to be said, this might be the most different of the lot. Of course, it's dark looking stout, but that head, it's a bit more bubbly, a bit frothier, a bit darker, and it looks, well, it looks stickier, if that's the right word to use. If I hold it up to the light, there might be a glimmer of light coming through, which, again, being one of the big hitters, is a little bit of a concern, but it's an almost jet black stout. There is just the slightest glimpse creeping out the bottom of that glass there, and otherwise, now it's calmed down a bit. It looks good. The head does look like it's going to wane away on this one. It managed to stick around quite well on the others, even the high ABV ones, but this one, being the absolute biggest of the lot, I think it's going to struggle, but we shall see. Right then, aromas. Now, truthfully, it does remind me quite a lot of that Blue Monkey beer I talked about a minute ago, and it is roasty, it is coconutty, which is a good sign. There's a bit of kind of candied sweetness in there somewhere. There's also a bit of a strange citrus freshness. It's very, very subtle, and I am a little bit worried because sometimes beers that have that often have it when they're not meant to, and it can be a bit of an off flavour, but we'll hold judgment until we taste it, I guess, which well, will be around now. So let's get into it. Cheers. Where's the coconut, Vocation? Where is the coconut? Now, I'm being a bit dramatic, sure. It is coconut flavoured, there is no doubt, but there's not enough. It's not massively huge, intense coconut. It's, to be fair to them, nice, subtle, creamy. It is bounty flavoured, but to say what they did with the Maltesers and the Milky Way ones, where it was massively just a literal interpretation of the chocolate, this feels like just a coconut chocolate themed beer. I mean, Now, there is some good news here. I said, could this be the easiest drinking 10% stout ever seen? Yeah, actually, I think it could be. It is ridiculous. There's no alcohol burn ready whatsoever. Only now, having taken a few sips, I sit back and start to feel just a little warming running through me. But whilst it is nice, I'm not being wowed. Right then, quick top to bottom taste test to work out what has gone wrong here. So, initially, super light carbonation on the front of the tongue. Not a lot of flavour to speak of. There's a bit of light, sweet chocolate up front, but again, not rich, not intense, not depthy. It's just there, milling around, doing a little bit of a tap dance. That leads into mid palate, where you start to get some light, toasted, creamy coconut flavour. Even onto the swallow, there's no big punchy flavours here. It's really okay. The can has been in the fridge, but it didn't come straight out the fridge. I left it out for half an hour first. It's cool. It's not freezing, and despite that, a bit more roastiness on the swallow, and the aftertaste is alarmingly bereft of coconut. There's a bit of chocolate sweetness, and that slightly odd citrus note I picked up on the aroma is also there in the aftertaste. And I've had this in other beers, and I'm pretty confident it's a sanitizing agent, a cleaning product, something like that that's not meant to be in there because, well, frankly, it's so mild in this, it's not offensive, but just doesn't really feel like it's meant to be there. That last sip, this beer started to feel like it was opening up a bit. So what we're going to do, I'm going to top this back up, and I'm going to take a look at the can, and then we're going to revisit to see if a bit of time out of the can does this beer a lot of favours. On the front of the can then, Vocation Special Edition Naughty and Nice Coconut Milk Chocolate Imperial Stout. Same thing on the back. Again, the description we got before, juicy exotic coconut centre enrobed in a thick and creamy milk chocolate stout, the toast of paradise. And the tasting notes on this are rich, chocolate and sweet. It is interesting that they produced a heavily coconut themed beer and didn't include toasty or coconut on the tasting notes. I think they know that this may not have gone to plan, and it kind of shows in that labelling. The listed ingredients, which are only the allergens on this series, are the same as all the others, with malted barley, oats, lactose, which I find odd, but anyway. It's 10%, there's a whopping 4.4 UK units in this can. It's a lovely looking can, but I can't but help but feel a little bit disappointed. Back to the beer then. I'm hoping, with a little bit of time, a little bit of air and a little bit of heat, that this may just start to transform into something truly magical, but honestly, I think Vocation have dropped an absolute bollock with that one, because getting big coconut flavours out of a beer is entirely possible. This itty bitty 4% real ale does it in droves. Much better than this very expensive, very high ABV Impy from, well, theoretically one of the best in the country. Don't get me wrong, I like Vocation and I like their beers, but this one, look, loads going for it. It's super boozy and it doesn't taste like it. It's sweet, it tastes good, it tastes like chocolate. Again, it's a bit like chocolate milk, like a lot of the other ones were. But I'm not wowed. And for a 10% Christmas special, I want to be taken off my feet, and I'm just not. And actually, Mouthfeel wise, it's no better than the 6% starting beer here, if not, to be honest, slightly worse. It's really not all that. It is a bit splashy. So we end this series on a catatonic disappointment. This is rough. This is rough, and I feel sorry for people who've saved away, bought themselves one of these boxes, or got friends or family to buy it for them for Christmas. They're looking forward to it and they're waiting for it. Because if you do what I've done, start with the 6% and work your way up, which would make sense. You're going to open this box and be eclectic at that first one or two, and by the end you're going to be sat going, I wish I just had 5 of the Malteser ones, because, to be honest, that's kind of where I'm at. And I think, unfortunately, that is all there is to say about it. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you haven't already, subscribe if you would be so kind. And I'll catch you next time. Cheers.